This math summary focuses on calculating an unknown angle in degrees. Angles are when two lines meet at a point, but we actually call them arms. We have two arms that meet at a vertex, and where that vertex is, that's where we find the angle. Now, all two-dimensional and three-dimensional shapes have angles. It's everywhere around us because it's where two lines meet at a point. Well, we know lots of different types of angles, and we need to use that knowledge so that we can then work out missing angles, where we haven't got any maths equipment to measure the angles. How can we use what we know to work out what we don't know? Let's start by going over all the different types of angles that we know. A right angle. A right angle is a very common angle that we see everywhere, and it's where our arm goes one direction and another arm of our angle goes in another direction, but where they meet, that's a perfect 90-degree measurement for that angle. We have an acute angle. That's a small angle, and it's actually smaller than our right angle. It's less than 90 degrees. It's from 1 degree right up to 89 degrees. If I have the opposite, I have an obtuse angle, which is a large angle. It's bigger than my right angle. It's greater or bigger than 90 degrees, but it's not up to 180 degrees because that would be instead of straight angle. A straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. That means my obtuse angle goes from 91 degrees because it's bigger than our right angle at 90 degrees, and it goes right up to 179 degrees. Our straight angle is exactly 180 degrees, and it's like we put two of our right angles together, side by side. 90 and 90 make 180 degrees. A reflex angle is when we have a large chunk of our full revolution, and we're trying to work out how much has been taken up and how much is left over. So we may know this angle and work out this small space here, or we may know that small space and be trying to work out the rest of our 360-degree full revolution. And that's what I've drawn here. Now, when we have a revolution, it's because we've either got 4 of our 90-degree right angles together, because 90 and 90 and 90 and 90, 4 90s make 360 degrees, or we have two 180-degree straight angles next to each other because 180 and 180 make 360 degrees.
Every concept mastered builds confidence, and there are more than 200 steps just like this waiting on the My5 website. The link's below. Now let's finish strong.
So now that we've gone through our different types of angles, we can use that when we have no measuring equipment and we want to work out missing angles. For example, I've cut my 90-degree right angle exactly into 2 equal parts, in half. And I've worked out that 45 degrees and 45 degrees makes 90 degrees. It's exactly half of 90. So I use what I know and add or subtract and work out my missing angle. Whereas this right angle is divided into 3 even sections. So I have to think, what's 90 degrees? Because I remember that a perfect right angle is 90 degrees divided into 3 sections. Well, 90 divided by 3 is 30. So we've got 30 degrees and 30 degrees, and 30 degrees makes 90 degrees altogether. So I use my knowledge of angles, I use my understanding of how large or small they are, and I work out my missing angles adding and subtracting. This is a straight line angle, so it goes all the way across and it makes 180 degrees. Now, some of my measurements are marked. This is 20 degrees and this is 50 degrees. I worked out the missing box angle here because I added 20 degrees and 50 degrees. That made 70 degrees, but I knew I needed 180. So I add on 110. Now, I could have said 180, take away 50, take away another 20, what have I got left? And that will give me 110 as well. Here I've got another straight line, but when I looked, I saw that this had the little symbol for a right angle, and I remembered right angles are 90 degrees, and that's why we use what we know to work out what we don't. 90 degrees plus a 20 degrees and another 10 degrees, altogether that's 120. It means my missing section here must be 60 because when I add them all up, they still need to equal 180 degrees. Even if I'm looking at my reflex angles, I know that one full revolution is 360. I could take away my 310 and work out 50. I could use subtraction or I could add something plus 310 will be 360, so it must be 50 degrees. Here I'm working out this large angle here. If this is 30 and I know the full revolution is 360, that must be 330 degrees. So always use the angle types and the information and use what you know to work out what you don't to calculate a missing angle.